Greetings, holiday shoppers. There are now 361 shopping days left until Christmas of 2022, and you're listening to Christmas Creeps, your one-stop shop for holiday movies and TV shows all year round. My name is Joseph Wade. I'll be your host for this evening. Tonight, friends, we bring you part 2 of a discussion that we had last week on our Christmas episode where we talked about Home Alone and its 2021 remake, Home Sweet Home Alone. If you listened to that episode, I hope you enjoyed it. But for this episode, I'm going to throw to a segment that we recorded for that show and completely cut out because we decided it was so good that we wanted to save it and use it as its own show. So this is kind of an addendum to that episode, a second part, if you will. In this segment that we're about to play for you, we are going to rank all of the traps from the original Home Alone and also from the remake, Home Sweet Home Alone, kind of a tier list of all the traps, how they rank from top to bottom, best to worst. And that's going to be the game that we're going to play on this episode. So I'm going to throw to us from about a week ago, and we're going to just get this party started. Here we go. So there's a scene in this film where when Max realizes that he's been left home alone, the first thing that he does is he puts on a little Tony Montana from Scarface costume.
Who the fuck is this joke for? This movie is for people who have Disney Plus to have their kids be like, oh, hey, more Home Alone movies. I liked the other two I saw. Who the fuck is the Scarface joke for?
I don't know.
There's also a cross-dressing joke after that, which, good on you. It's 2020, 2021. Get it how you live.
Sure. Here, why not?
Why not?
But then he goes right back to Scarface.
Yeah, I kind of wish he'd stayed in the dress for a while, to be completely honest. Like when he's eating all the candy. Why not have him in a dress? Why not?
And if the movie were smart enough or were clever enough, I think it would have made more of a point out of that. Like he's dressing up like Scarface because it wants us to know that this kid's actually a piece of shit and we should hate him.
He's a psychopath.
He's this little psychopath who shoots Rob Delaney in the face with a pool cue.
Who has been waiting for this, just like most home defense people have been waiting for this moment for their entire lives.
Yes, exactly.
Can we talk about... Oh man, it feels so bad when he's murking these two.
It's not fun, is it? It's not great at all.
It's not there's not a single... There's a couple of okay, this was clever, but he's shooting pool cues. He's shooting pool balls at the husband, and it just, it feels so bad.
I know in the original Home Alone, a lot of the traps are, the nail through the foot is awful. It hurts me to even think about it. But then in this one, it goes full Evil Dead, where it's just why don't we just have a guy slowly push his finger onto a thumbtack to press a button?
It honestly, nothing against Rob Delaney and Ellie Kemper, really, except that thing where Ellie Kemper's family are a bunch of weird clan people or something.
What?
Yeah, it came out. Ellie Kemper's family is in some society that's in St. Louis that's basically an offshoot of the Klan.
Oh, like Ellie Kemper.
Yeah.
Ooh, didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's a weird thing, and I don't want to blame her too much for it, as much as I'll blame her parents. But it's one of those weird things where it's a lot of old money is really fucking racist in this country.
A lot of blue bloods are just not great.
But if we're talking about the traps,
yes,
I want to use that as a segue. I actually have a game for everybody.
Oh, okay.
The end of that thought was basically just nothing against them as comedic actors, physical comedic actors. They do a fine job. it's a lot more fun to watch Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci get hit by these because their reaction is like half a second of ow, and then it's just like type of just like muttering swearing, basically.
Yeah, they're established cartoon characters and not like poor people we should be sympathetic to.
They're Yosemite Sam
Yes.
reacting to this, essentially.
Yeah.
To that end, I have a game for everybody.
Okay.
Is it Final Fantasy 14?
It's not Final Fantasy 14 because the servers are down, and you know that very well.
Aw.
You know that too well. Guys, I want to make a tier list of all of the traps from Home Alone and Home Sweet Home. Home Sweet Home Alone. All right?
Okay.
So I've got it in the Discord, but I'm going to go through it sequentially or semi-sequentially. If I miss any, you can remind me. If I miss anything else, you can yell about it on Twitter, but we will have already recorded this episode, so tough cookie puss. We're going to go through this. So I have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier.
Okay.
I'm going to go through some of these japes, some of these tricks, and we're going to rank them in what tier they belong in. So we're going to start out with OG Home Alone, okay? Do you guys want to do this?
Original Gangster Home Alone. I'm into this. No, yeah, let's go.
All right. So there's one rule to this, and that's if Kevin or Max just straight up shoot somebody, that doesn't really count as a trap. So we're not counting that. So like when he shoots them with the BB gun in the doggy door, or when Max shoots the dad with the pool ball, that does not count.
Yes, my favorite trap, the gun trap.
Yeah, the gun trap. Or if it's not planned. So when Kevin uses the tarantula to kind of break free from the wet bandits.
Sure.
Or Max using
I was just thinking about how the original Saw, the most effective like thing he did was just tie a tripwire to a shotgun.
Yeah.
Pretty effective. Or in How Home Sweet, he Max inadvertently uses German Siri to scare people away. That doesn't count. All right.
Fair.
So we're going to go through. And I want you to give me
your
rating.
The two things that German Siri does is the first thing, she is giving a recipe for, I think, like Moravian like yeast rolls. And the second time is just a weather report.
The second was what?
It's just a weather report.
All
and
right.
the only reason it says police is because it mentions how like the police have put out like a freeze warning or something.
Okay.
All
right. So we're going to start with OG Home Alone. And we're going to kind of go in chronological order, but you can stop me if you like, or if you remember any others that I missed, please let me know. So the first one is the movie sounds that Kevin uses to order the pizza and with the Wet Bandits. The, keep the change, you filthy animal, that sort of thing. And we're also including the firecrackers in the pot with this. What do you think? S, A, B, C, D.
I think that's a good S tier because that's like solid misdirection. Like it's harm, no foul kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's clever and it's quotable and it's fun. Everybody remembers that one, so I'll just say that's S tier.
Yeah, it's at the very least
strong.
It's at the very least clever.
Okay. Next up is the silhouettes misdirection with the house party that Kevin does with the Wet Bandits.
Well, see, I'm on tiermaker.com. I found a tiered list of Home Alone traps.
Oh, dear.
And
somebody already did it.
Well, kind of. But the F tier rank is called Who Would Fall for This? And I feel like that would fall under this category.
Yeah.
Well, the big problem with that one is the extreme, like, you gotta hope they're looking while you're doing this, kid, because you're gonna get tired of dancing around after about 20 minutes.
Yeah. And
yeah, exactly.
So D tier, I guess we would say?
I'd say D tier. It's a fun scene, but it's not the most realistic because, come on, one kid putting all of this together. I don't think so.
Okay. All right, next up is the icy steps, both front and back door.
That's what we like to call an oldie but a goodie. That's just a solid A tier, I think.
John?
Yeah, it's not the best and most creative out there, but it's just like it's kind of like it's kind of like the super shotgun in Doom. It's like it does what it does very fucking well.
It's a workhorse trap.
It's your bread and butter. All right, so we'll
Yes.
say Icy Steps is an A tier. Thank you so much for playing along with my wonderful game. All right, Hot Doorknob.
Is that a sex move?
No. Like the water heater or whatever, the grill starter on the doorknob.
Oh yeah.
To me, this is an S tier. This was always my favorite booby trap in the original movie.
Yeah, if only because of the indelible image of the M from the doorknob on Harry's hand. I love that so much.
Branded him for life.
Yes,
it's very John.
What are we ranking it on here?
S through D.
No, I mean that's my D.
I mean, just
like, is it practicality, like iconic, or just how fun it is, or what?
Just everything. Just come on, use your gut.
My misgiving is just like you would burn the door at some point.
I mean, yes, 2 of these traps are very clear fire hazards. This and the other friggin'
the blowtorch. Yeah,
the blowtorch. But just play with me in this space. Come on. We're using Looney Tunes rules here.
Yeah, I'll give it an S, right? Because also it's one of those ones where it's like you can see that the doorknob's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not looking, is he?
No, he's not. He's too distracted by the icy steps. He wants to get into that house. He's after those treasures.
Maybe you should just like grab shit randomly.
All right. Hot doorknob, I'm going to put down as S tier.
Yes.
Listen, realistically, at a certain point, they should have just taken that lawn jockey from the front of the house, thrown it through a window, and just taken whatever they could get their hands on.
There are so many ways to get around all these traps, and we'll get into that with Home Sweet because it's even more obvious.
Okay,
then,
okay, let's keep going.
Let's keep rolling because we have a lot of traps to get through.
Do it.
All right, we have the light bulb iron.
Not bad.
It's solid.
It's a solid smack on the face. I'm into it.
I do like the fact that he keeps that imprint on his face throughout the rest of the movie.
Yes.
That's very good.
Solid B tier, at least.
Solid B tier? Yeah, I would put it B tier.
I'd say B tier, yeah, because I'm going to give more weight to the traps that serve to like keep them out of the house or deter them from coming in the house. And with the iron, it's like he's already in the basement.
Yeah.
Right, well, now it's just punishment time for trespassing.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. All right, next up is I'm including these in the same entry because they're kind of, one doesn't really work without the other. These are the tar steps and the nail step, the Quiet Place nail step.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, this one hurts so bad.
It hurts bad, but I feel like it's kind of a stretch.
This is an F tier one for me because it's like, you gotta hope that the guy's stupid enough to keep stepping on them, and also that he's going to also step on the one single nail that you put down, because you can't put too many nails down because then he'll fucking notice.
Yeah, well, we only go to D tier, so I'm gonna put it at D tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a D tier.
All right. So,
but also think about the effort that would go into putting that trap together, and Kevin would have either had to paint his way down the stairs or paint his way up the stairs.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit chronologically and go to the window ornaments. And I'm actually going to create a new tier for this.
Okay.
And I'm going to put E tier because this is such a stretch that he assumes that the Wet Bandit is going to lose his shoes on the tar steps and then go outside and then go to the window.
Yes, I've always thought about this. Like, if they had just gone to that window in the first place, opened it up, and just stepped on him, yeah, they would have stepped on him, but they would still have shoes on.
Like just to go back, not to cut too much ahead to Home Sweet Home Alone, but if Ellie Kemper was wearing steel-toed boots, like, 3/4 of these traps would be useless.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to even use E tier. I'm going to skip straight down to F tier, worst trap in the entire series.
Okay. What the
and that's reserved for the window ornaments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the only reason it gets included is because they're Christmas ornaments and it's Christmas.
Yeah, I love you, Home Alone, but this one is too much of a stretch.
Little easy.
A little easy. All right. Next up is the torch door trap. So, he opens the door and the torch torches his head. It's very cartoony. It's very good, though.
Yeah, first things first, it's very funny. But yeah, it is extremely impractical because who knows who's going to come through that door.
And he's going to burn the house down, right?
It's one of those things where it's like, you got to hope that the shorter of the two goes through the door with the height you've put this torch at.
And then it's very clearly easily broken because he just barges through the door later to break the trap. It's not very effective as a trap.
But then you got to think a lot of these traps are only really meant to be used once.
Right.
Yeah, so, I'll say it. I'll give it a little bit of points as the fact that it's meant to be a deterrent. It's meant to make people be like, I don't want to go in the house anymore because the door's on fire.
Yes. C?
C. I'm going to say C tier. I like it, but yeah, you're making compelling arguments here.
I think C is a solid place for the torch door trap.
Okay. I'm officially putting down the pumpkin pie soda Southern Comfort because I can tell I'm starting to get sloppy.
Oh, please do get sloppy. This is what the Christmas episode is all about, my friend.
Well,
all right. Next up is the glue and feather combo.
So again, he's already in the house, so it's not much of a deterrent, but it does effectively tar and feather him. So he's if he's getting away, he's going to be very recognizable. I
feel like this is not much of a deterrent though.
No, it's not.
Also, I would say C tier.
It requires too much of a setup as well. You got to hope that the guy both doesn't notice the saran wrap with glue on it, and then also keeps walking through the fucking tripwire, which is connected to a fan.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and especially in the movie, you see Kevin having to set it up as the guy's right behind him.
Kevin has to be behind the fan to pull the trigger on the fan. So this is a C tier, I think.
Yeah, it's not great. Not great.
Or do we want to even go down to D tier for this?
Yeah, because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect much change in the course of things.
I mean, if I'm in a house and I want to steal a bunch of really expensive shit, that's not going to deter me all that much. I don't care I don't care if I look ridiculous.
It's all right. Well, now, after that's now I'm doing robbery and murder tonight. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, glue and feather. All right, we already hit window ornaments. Next up is the micro machine slip.
Pretty good. I mean,
I feel like this is a classic.
It's 100% a classic.
Maybe a B, maybe even an A. It's solid. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say against it is how'd you not see him, guys? I mean, obviously it's because they're mad at the kid at the top of the stairs, but
B tier?
Yeah.
B tier, but also I will remind you that this is one of the few traps that is effectively established early in the film. Because Kevin's dad tells him to pick up his micro machines because his aunt almost tripped and fell and broke her neck.
And they try to ape this in Home Suite with the Legos, but it just doesn't really work because you see it coming.
Oh, a mile away, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up is a classic, the paint cans.
The paint cans. Oh boy, it hurts. It hurts so much. I'm gonna say this is an S tier.
Ooh.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, it requires them to be in exactly the right place and to fall for it multiple times.
I'm going to go A tier because it certainly has an impact. And I think at the time it was unprecedented.
It's iconic as well as one thing. But it requires such a weird specific setup of this double back staircase.
But already we are already suspending our disbelief so much.
Yeah.
But I know we're not talking about Home Alone 2, but I feel like this is one instance where the return of this gag in Home Alone 2 is that much more effective because of how ridiculous it is and how over the top they have to send it to make it work in Home Alone 2.
The version in Home Alone 2 is very good, but unfortunately we're not going into Home Alone
I know.
2
I felt like that needed to be clarified before we move on.
Thank you. I would be comfortable with either A or S just for how iconic it is. To the point where other movies are aping this.
Yeah, I mean the whole middle section of Better Watch Out is about the kid trying to recreate it just to see what would happen. And that's not great, but it at least points to how memorable this was. So
I think paint cans should be S tier.
I'm going to say A tier because you mentioned Better Watch Out. Now it's leaving a sour taste in my mouth.
All right, I think A tier is fair because it does
totally fine.
It does require a lot of suspension of disbelief. All right,
yeah,
A tier it is for paint cans. All right, and the last caper for Home Alone the original is the rope cut.
Oh, the outdoors rope cut.
Yes.
To get Harry and Marv to this point required a lot of footwork.
I think it's a B tier at best.
I'm gonna go again. I think this one's pretty good because it is such a simple setup to it. Like all you got to do is get them to chase you upstairs and go out the window on the rope. As soon as they think that going after the rope is faster than going out the window. Or is going back down because hypothetically, if Harry and Marv are smart, what they do is, all right, one of them's going to stay at the window so he can't climb back up the rope, and then one of them's going to run out the house and go back around to catch him coming down the tree.
I will give them this. It is absolutely Looney Tunes as hell. Like, it's the most, like, Wile E. Coyote-ass thing in this entire movie.
It's the moment of kind of no return for realism in the movie.
All right, A tier?
A tier, because that's what makes that scene work, is because, like, that's the moment where you go, okay, this is full-on cartoon now, but they've earned it at that point.
Yeah, this is the payoff. This is the money shot.
Exactly,
kind of.
Yes.
All right. That's going to do it for the original Home Alone, and we're going to reconvene in just a moment because I need to take a beat and you need to cut this part out.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back in just a second.
Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas.
All right. Welcome back. We're back. A dinosaur story?
Hey, there it is. It's a Christmas miracle.
There it is. It's a Christmas miracle. All right. So we are in Home Sweet Home Alone now at this point. So we're going to continue on with our tier list. So the first up caper, jape, is the Icy Driveway.
Again,
I feel like it's derivative of the icy stairs, and there's not as much peril.
But he also ices the entire street, apparently.
Yeah, because they crashed the car. So
which is to me is a bit much, but the original, like, icing the driveway, I'm fine with, because that's like the first escalation of how to deter these people from the house. I'm fine with that.
B tier, C tier, or B tier, A tier?
I'm going to go B tier, if only because the movie turns this into like a real kind of Looney Tunes moment.
Yeah. Well, the next one is kind of an extension of that, is the bright lights. I actually really liked this one. That
is my other Christmas Vacation reference, because that is the thing that happens at Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yeah?
My one problem with that is it requires too much interaction on the shitty kid's part.
Yeah, because he's actively like turning the lights on and off and on and off again.
Okay. A tier, B tier, C tier?
I like it. It's fun, but the fact that it requires his involvement makes me take it down to B tier.
I think that's fair.
At least, yeah.
All right. So we'll say bright lights is a B tier. And I am going to post this for everybody at sort of the end. I'll do some little custom illustrations for all of these. They probably won't be great, but trying to be a little more creative in the new year, so
sure,
we'll find out. All right, next up is the soda bombs, the Mentos Diet Cola bombs.
This is okay. I'm gonna go ahead and at least say C tier at best, because this is the point where it starts to get too cartoony.
Yes, yeah,
and where it's obvious the little shithead kid is just being a shithead to them too.
A shithead, yeah,
right. He's not trying to keep them away from the house. He's just being an asshole.
Yes. Okay. C tier. Cola bombs.
Yeah. C tier.
All right.
Yeah. Again, it requires too much interaction on the kid's part. It's not like this is a thing he set up.
Yeah. Okay, next up is the fire trap. So Ellie Kemper goes down into sort of the sunken English basement entrance, and he sets off like a Hot Wheels with a sparkler on it to give her a hot foot. It's a bit much.
It's a bit much, and again, it potentially could set the house on fire.
It requires a lot of suspension of disbelief as well.
It requires, again, interaction on the kid's part, too.
And her feet stay on fire, which means she will have needed to like kind of step in that gasoline or petrol or whatever he uses for quite a while. It just doesn't work. C tier?
Yeah. C tier. It's too much too soon.
Yeah.
As well.
It's an escalation that's maybe not even called for.
Right.
Okay.
This is the point where it reaches the point of potential assault charges on an adult.
Yeah. All right. Next up is the faucet tape, where he has taped over the faucet, anticipating that Ellie Kemper goes and tries to wash her feet off. A D tier.
I don't know. I was kind of fine with this because this is like setting up a potential trap where just to annoy her. It's all it's there is to just annoy her.
Yeah, because the one problem is this is a really funny thing of just the faucet just spraying water out willy-nilly. It's a funny like visual gag.
Okay.
But also there's two things, which is it's like the kerosene in the toilet where it's just like you're just trying to murder this guy now.
Yeah. You're just trying to give her hypothermia and send her to the hospital.
Yeah, and also it's just like you're trying to simultaneously give her hypothermia and also third-degree burns. What the fuck, you little British shithead?
The other thing about this is, and this is totally like kind of a dad thing of me, that faucet should have been turned off like 2 months ago because those pipes are going to freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So he would have had to know, because I didn't know when I was 12 years old that you have to turn on and off, the water to faucets, which actually reminds me that I need to turn mine off because I turned it on a while ago for reasons.
See, this movie is doing a public service to you personally, Bradford.
Okay, for that I'm going to bump it up a tier. I'm going to say C tier.
Yeah, I'll go C tier. It's a funny joke, but it requires so much setup and is also for one of the more malicious purposes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just to be a jerk. All right. Next up is the security system nail in the number 2.
Are we forgetting the cookies with the hot sauce in them?
I am forgetting the cookies with the hot sauce. Thank you for reminding me.
Those are D tier.
D tier?
Yeah.
All right.
It's like it only works because Rob Delaney is dumb.
Okay, fine.
That's true. Like
cookies, I agree.
Don't eat cookies that anyone has set outside. Period.
To Santa, yeah.
To Santa.
When you're trying to friggin' heist a house. All right.
Yeah, you're right. D tier because it's dumb. The best part of that gag is that the hot sauce is called Satan's Heine.
Yes, that's okay.
And also, I want to say that his actions are a callback to the Frankenstein joke because he just goes milk hot.
Milk hot. Why milk hot?
They really could have leaned into the Frankenstein thing more, and it would have probably been a good thing.
It was, that was like the Frankenstein gag was the first thing that I laughed at, and I felt bad because I realized, it's only going to get worse from here.
All right.
Yeah, the one thing that got an actual laugh out of me was Kenan Thompson when he was leaving, just being like, realizing that he was committing to the bit of complimenting Rob Delaney's butt. like the look on his face is just like, I'm about to say this. Yeah, I am.
Like, we're kind of down on this movie, but Kenan Thompson did a good job in this movie. Like, he's funny. He's legit funny in most of this movie. Good job, Kenan.
He's just like with the 2018 Grinch, he is by far the best part of the movie.
Yeah. All right. Next up is the security nail. Back to the security nail.
Oh, God, I hate this so much.
Oh, can you imagine getting a nail through your digit? Like, ugh.
No.
Through your foot, whatever, but
And also just another thing of like, really, how would you not see this one? You're not going to blindly reach for a keypad, especially like maybe you'll muscle memory one at your fucking house, not one you've used once before and you got the code wrong the last time you did.
So here's the other question. This implies that Max knows that he knows the code, but he got the code wrong the first time. He used 2221, but how would Max know that?
He
right?
wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
He would just assume that he would go 1, 1, 1, and then smash that thumbtack at the end.
I guess he assumes that he actually knows the code. But he got the code wrong the first time, which is why the police came. I don't know. Whatever. D tier?
D tier because this to me is less a funny Home Alone prank and more like a gag from a gag from like an Evil Dead movie. Yeah. Like you know how the first like Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness are like very cartoony and silly and the blood is like 8 different colors. Well, the original Evil Dead, the horror shit is like a pencil going through someone's foot.
Yeah.
It's like really tactile, awful shit. And this reminds me of that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next up is the VR cliff. And I think we're going to have to break out the special F tier for this again because it is just beyond the pale.
F plus for being too fucking stupid by half.
Yeah. Like this is the worst. This is Z tier. Like
why does he see? Because like Rob Delaney is dressed like Santa Claus during this sequence. Why does he see himself wearing the Santa Claus suit in the VR headset?
And he's not wearing any sort of hand tracking. How do his hands and body show up? It's the worst. VR cliff is Z tier. VR cliff is the worst Home Alone trap ever devised.
And also, again, requires way too much setup on the kid's part.
Yes. He has to strap the VR headset onto him while he's unconscious after shooting him with a pool ball. Terrible. All right.
I hate it. Let's move on.
Next up is the Flour Butter Sugar Steps, which sounds like a Vocaloid song, but it's the name of a trap.
It's more of the Icy Driveway bit.
It's essentially Icy Steps Redux, right?
Yeah, it is.
And
except he's throwing shit down at them.
Yeah, it requires too much setup from the kid as well. And
so Icy Steps we gave A, so I'd give this like a B tier, maybe even a C.
Yeah, I'm going to say C just because like I just want to say this, like it's the year of our Lord 2021, almost 2022. You can do better than just like dick trauma, like, and that's the punchline. Like you can be creative. You don't have to do what you would win second place on America's Funniest Home Videos for in 1988.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna move on. Attic Pushpins Gun.
Again, it's a little too aggressive.
It's a little much. Like I felt bad for Ellie Kemper a lot. Because one of those could have hit an eyeball, right?
Yeah. The pool cue gun, that's one thing. But a Nerf thumbtack gun? Oh my god, this is a torture device.
I want to be clear. This gun this is like a cheerleader t-shirt gun that he's shooting pool balls with. He is not firing pool cues like a harpoon. That would be insane.
It's still insane.
It's very bad.
It's just degrees of insanity at that point.
C tier?
I guess
it's really rough. It's really rough, especially with all the context of this movie where he's basically torturing a lower middle class family.
And also the idea that this Nerf gun can be modified enough to put an entire damn push pin on the end of a dart, like there's enough room in the chamber to do that. It's kind of like, really?
It requires a lot of suspension of disbelief.
Hey, maybe the kid's into the Nerf modding community. We don't know. Those people do crazy things with Nerf guns.
Absolute
C or D?
D.
I
hate it.
Absolute sidetrack here. Did the kid ever actually use the fucking water gun?
No.
I thought he did, but maybe not. He just carried it around.
I don't think
because
he ever
got
did.
it as a gift from the family that he's assaulting. We didn't even get into that.
It's too much. It's just too much. But let's move on.
It's too much. All right, Attic. Pushpin
gun. Yeah.
All right. Next up is the treadmill weights. I actually kind of liked this one.
Yeah, this is just simple. Again, this is a simple torture device.
It worked. It worked a lot, and I kind of like the sort of.
It reminds me of every video of someone being stupid on a treadmill and like ramming themselves into a wall.
Yeah, in the misdirection with the yoga ball is fun. It's good. I would put this at... I think it's the best trap in Home Sweet. I would put it at A tier.
And also because the use of the weights comes back later when the weights aren't in the suitcase like Ellie Kemper thought they were.
No, the problem was that he untied the rope with that.
But I like the moment when like the weight goes into the door and just freaking lodges there, and Ellie Kemper's like, "Oh, I'm going to die." That's pretty good. I would put this at A tier.
This is at least
I don't know about
tier,
you guys.
Yeah,
let's go A.
I get my only complaint with it is that the kid again is actively doing it. Like she's there at the doorway and he's like throwing. Basically, it's a slightly more complicated version of him just throwing shit at her.
Yeah. He's actively doing this to her face.
But I feel the yoga ball part maybe elevates it to A tier.
It does. It creates a fun like gag.
It's a very sort of Looney Tunes-esque sort of situation.
Yes.
All right, so I'll put Treadmill Weights at A tier.
Yes.
All right, that leaves us. We only have 2 left.
Let's do it.
We have the Trampoline Pin Pull. So that is where the husband is kind of following him out onto the trampoline, and he pulls the pin out and kind of misdirects him on the trampoline.
I mean, it's okay. It's something
fine.
It's fine, but that's the kind of thing that like you would expect him to have done earlier in the film.
C tier.
C tier, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't really attack or defend this. It just kind of is like, okay.
It is, yeah. Tramp pull. All right. And the last one is maybe one of our deadliest traps, the Icicle Gutters.
You missed one, by the way.
What did I miss?
The whole thing that hits her on the foot and then the Legos. Which I'm going to say that's a D tier because, again, it requires her to not wear fucking shoes.
The Legos is almost an F tier because it's kind of a redux of the window ornaments if you think about it.
Basically, yeah.
So we're going to put Legos as F tier. What was the other one you said?
It's like basically it's something tied to the door that when she opens the door, it like springs in and hits her on the foot.
I don't remember that at all.
It's I think it's like a giant like soup ladle or something. It just smacks her on the toes really hard, which is why she like is hopping on one foot and hops into the Legos.
Okay.
And also, where does she even go to at the end of that room?
Also F tier? She like lies down on the floor and starts like kind of swimming across, like doing a backstroke across it, which is actually kind of a smart move.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what does she even reach at the end of that room is what I forget.
I don't remember.
I have not.
Anyways, the ladle smack, I'm just gonna put F tier as well.
Yeah, because it's all contingent on, again, if she was wearing steel-toed boots, like she'd be like, well, that's fucking annoying. Now I'm gonna stomp on all these fucking Legos.
It's weird.
That's a villainous move right there. Like, hey, those things are 10 cents a piece.
Exactly. Like that Lego set costs $400, man. But like, it's weird that the Lego trap is reminiscent more of the window ornaments and not the micro machines. You know?
I mean, have you guys? I put. Oh, she actually goes down on her knees into the Legos at one point, and let me tell you, speaking from personal experience as somebody who's put a knee into a Duplo full force.
Oh no!
Oh, it almost drew blood. It is so bad. I'm not gonna say it's a believable trap, but it's very painful.
Okay, well let's wrap this up.
All right, last one is the Icicle Gutters.
This is as like the last one. I think it's properly like big, and
it could literally kill him.
It could literally kill him, but also it's a pretty clever little setup, little mechanism.
It's fine. I like the fish tackle. It's one of the more clever ones. B tier?
I'll say it's B tier because the other problem is like if the guy is just like, whoa, what the fuck, and like stops running forward for a second, then like
and like jukes off to the side and just lets the kid keep going.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I have a longer stride than you because I'm bigger than you, so I'll just let you run ahead, knock all these icicles off, and then chase you.
Yeah.
Yeah. but it's clever. It's whatever.
It's clever and it's visually interesting, and it harkens back to A Christmas Story because that's all that whole thing ends on icicles. So yes. I get why it's here.
B tier. All right.
Yeah.
That will do it for our tier list for traps in OG and Home Suite.
Holy Moses.
Thank you all for playing along. I have quite a bit of work ahead of me, but I'm happy to publish this on our Twitter feed very soon.
We'll put it on the Twitter. We'll put it in the show notes. I'm sure it'll show up on the website at christmascreeps.com at some point soon.
And maybe eventually we can incorporate some of the other Home Alones into it as well.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you on that.
The Home Alone trap tier list.
We can develop the definitive Home Alone trap tier list. But first you have the most prestigious and recent entries.
And there you have it, friends. Yes. That's going to do it for this episode of Christmas Creeps. Thank you so much for listening. It's really been a pleasure to bring this show to you for the last several years. We really enjoy doing it. I really enjoy doing it. I can't speak for my co-hosts, but suffice it to say, this has been a pleasure doing Christmas Creeps. And going into the new year, I hope you continue to join us for more holiday madness as we break down awful Christmas movies of all kinds. For some reason, they keep making Christmas movies, and we're the crazy people trying to watch them. And we will bring those to you twice a month, every month, throughout the calendar year. That's been our MO since 2015, and that's how we're going to do it moving forward. If you have questions or comments, send those to us at xmascreeps@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at Christmas Creeps. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, where we're at Christmas Creeps on those. Join our Discord channel, by the way. We have a link in our show notes for you to join our Discord channel where the conversation never stops. We talk about everything from the podcast. We talk about Christmas stuff. We talk about video games and food, and we're trying to build a pretty fun little community, and we want you to be a part of it. So go check out our show notes, join our Discord channel, and let's keep this conversation rolling. Yeah, that's going to do it for Christmas Creeps. So I've been Joseph Wade for Johnny Five, Mr. Bradford, everybody at our show. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2022.